Welcome back, guys. My name is I-LYASYMONE. I'm back with a new story time. But before I get into my story time, I want to go ahead and show you guys my new background. I hope that you guys like it. Try to put something together. So today's story time will be about when I dated older guys and a weird encounter that I had. So starting off with the recent, I was passing out some informational flyers to help out a friend of the family. And it was a lot of people walking by. Some took some didn't. And I run into this one guy, and he takes the flyer, and he's just like real smiley. If anything, I'm just so like not really even thinking about it, thinking that he's probably just really having a good day. He's into the kind of stuff that like what we were passing out. So he continues on to just start a conversation with me. Now I'm not rude. I will conversate with you, but I'll just kind of like try to keep it short. That way I could like continue on with what I was doing. So pretty much, he's asking me if I'm in school, what do I do for a living, which I don't understand what that has to do with anything. But like I said, I'm not rude, and he was older, so I'm just figuring like he's just asking questions to make conversation, not thinking what's about to happen next. So he asked me if I'm taking, and I said yes I am, which I'm not gonna disclose that on the internet. And pretty much I say, yes, I have a boyfriend. And he says, I don't see no ring on your finger. And he grabs my hand. And I'm just like, sir, isn't that kind of rude? And then he said, well, if you're not married, I should be able to take you on a date. You're not spoken for. I didn't know me being married was me being spoken for. I just thought if I was talking to somebody, but little do I know. And I mentioned this man had to be like 60 to 70 years old. He didn't look really old, but then again, I was able to tell that he looked at least my grandfather's age. And yeah, I just kind of had to keep it moving with that. Where I don't see older guys like that. To me, it's just creepy. Some girls are into it. I'm not. I'm 23, but still, that's just a little too much for me. So the next story is pretty much when I started dating this 35-year-old, and I knew of his age. He kind of looked like he was 30, but he was 35. He had 3 kids. I have my one son, which I'm okay with because all we're doing is dating. I'm not like taking him in yet. So pretty much, we met through social media. We started talking, and the first thing that threw me off about him was that he made beats for a living. To me, that is not a real job. I'm not knocking anyone's hustle, but for you to be 35 and just to be making beats for a living and nothing else, and it's just like, it didn't make sense to me. And I probably would have been okay with it if like he's able to live off that, but the fact that he was living with a relative of his, yeah, it just didn't suit my fancy. But we proceeded to go on a date anyways, and it was pretty okay. And like the day he asked me when I would do it, I said, "Oh, let's just go for sushi because I love sushi." And I ain't gonna lie, who don't love free food? And we go on a date. We kind of make a little bit of conversation, and he just keeps trying to like pursue me with the whole thing that he makes beats for a living. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And on the ride there, he kept playing these terrible tracks. And I'm just like, oh my God, stop. Like, I even hate it when people send it inside my inbox on Facebook, Instagram. Like, I'm all about people doing their own thing, but please don't force me to listen to it. Like, if I like it, I will know right away. But most of the time, I just can't stand that type of stuff. So to hear that somebody does it for a living and has 3 kids or still says with a relative, like I said, it just isn't my fancy. So on the whole day, he's just talking about it. He doesn't want to quit talking about it. And he's trying to ask me to come to a premiere party. And I'm just like, what kind of premiere is it? It's not even a real label. But I'm just like, if I can find a sitter, sure. So after a day, like a week later, it's about time for the party. And like, I'm pretty sure I could have found somebody to watch my son at the same time. I really didn't want to go. And then he was just like, oh, come on, it's going to be a turnip event. It's going to be bottles. It's going to be strippers. And I'm just like, once again, stuff that isn't my fancy. Like, I'm not stuck up. I'm all for fun nights and, like, getting out every now and again. But that just isn't my type of scene. So, when he found out that I didn't want to come, it was just like an issue to him. And I really didn't understand it because, I don't know. To him, he thought that I couldn't find a sitter. He should have just been okay with that. Maybe he sensed that I was lying. Really, I didn't care because I didn't want to go in the first place. I was already annoyed from the day. I just didn't want to be around that type of thing all night. So he just proceeds on the next day to be like, oh, we should go for lunch again. This time it should be your treat. First of all, I don't find nothing wrong with it being 50-50 because he did pay for the first date. And I'm just like, okay with the idea, but at the time, I didn't have any spare money just to like spend on anybody else. I had to take care of my responsibilities first. And pretty much, I'm just like, yeah, next week we could do that. Like around Thursday, Friday, we could like go for lunch. And he was like, why not tonight? Bruh, 35 years old. If it's really that serious, go feed yourself. Like, don't rush me for our date. I didn't do it at you. I did something that worked for you. Or I'm not returning common courtesy. So he basically catches an attitude and is holding on to it. Like, at this point, it's more annoying than the bad music tracks that he was trying to get me to listen to. And he just goes on like, I knew you were a selfish female dog. He called me a female dog. And he just like wouldn't let it go. And to me, I was just like, sweetie, if you really want the $44 back that you spent on some sushi, then you can take it back. He was just like, no, that's not my point. That's not what I was trying to say. And I said, yeah, you could just go ahead and delete me off everything. And he didn't want to, so of course I had to block him on everything. And that was just the end of that. Like, I was 35 years old, but acting like 16, if you ask me. But, yeah, it just didn't work out. Now, the second guy that I dated that was, like, a little bit older, he was 31. Not so bad because at the time I was 21. It's a 10-year age difference, but I'm pretty mature for my age. But this guy actually didn't look the age that I thought he was until one day I snuck in his wallet and had to see for myself if he was telling the truth. When I tell y'all that license was so damn old, it was definitely proof to me. So I hung with him. We dated for like less than a year, but it was still a little while. He did tattoos for a living, and I was just pretty much like cool with him until it got to the point where he tried to start acting like he had to be somebody's father figure. I wasn't okay with that, and I kind of tried to put it past because I kind of did like him, even though some of the things he did was off. And pretty much, he handled his business like he had his own, unlike the other guy. And he kind of handled his business from time to time. But it was one day that I went shopping with my hard-earned money because I don't believe in taking anybody else's money. If you want to give me something, go ahead. But I'm not going to force you to, like, give me things that I want. If I want something, I would save my money for it and get it myself. So one day I go shopping, and he was going out of town, and it was going to be for a while. So for me to be faithful, I bought something to help, and he was going to stop by before he had left. So I get home, I'm putting away my little purchases and stuff, and he comes in, and he opens the one bag that had something that was going to help me while he was away. And he was like, how much did you spend on this? And I'm just like, oh, $60, I got it for sale. He was like, nah, we got to go back to the mall and return this. So I'm like, why? And he's just like, I don't think I could trust you with something like this. Mind you, this is something to help the relationship at the time. But I guess he was completely against it. I mean, I don't know. Do you want me to see other people? I mean, I'm good at being loyal, but God, we all have our needs. So he just found it such a big issue, and on top of him trying to act like a father figure in my life, even though I already had somebody knowing that, I just found it really weird, and it led us to break up. And yeah, I mean, it seems something so small to me, but I broke up with him because I just don't like nobody thinking that they're over me. And yeah, I just don't want it to get weird like that. And like, we're not good today, neither one of the guys. The one guy actually ended up blocking me. But I mean, it is what it is. If you can't respect something so small as for me to be better to you, yeah, I just really don't understand. Guys are weird like that. And the thing is, these are supposed to be grown men. I'm not even into older dudes, but the way how they used to acted, I definitely want to go back. But fortunately, the guy that I talk to now is only like almost 3 years older than me. And I'm just good where I'm at. Like, will it last long? Only time will tell. But at the same time, I just can't date nobody older than me again. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. Ladies, I know that we all had them little creeps in our lives that was older than us and we maybe wear it out. Maybe it's your thing. Maybe you're like me and it's not anymore. But yeah, fortunately to say, I have my own. I had my first house at 19 and still live here today. I just always been on handling my own responsibilities and never need a man for it. So I can say that I'm doing pretty good in life, with or without him. And I think that's why some girls date older guys so they can get to where I'm at. I'm not doing the best in life, but at the same time, I'm not doing that bad as well. But thank you again for watching. I hope you guys like this. Like, comment, subscribe, and just continue watching me. I have more videos to come, and I hope you guys have a good one. Night.